At 75 years old, with no home, no family waiting backstage, and only a worn guitar that had survived decades on the streets, this Filipino man stepped onto the America's Got Talent stage in 2025 with trembling hands. The judges smiled politely, the audience wasn't sure what to expect, but within minutes, this homeless grandfather would deliver a performance so powerful that it would leave the entire theater in tears and make Simon Cowell openly cry on live television. Before you hear how this impossible moment unfolded, make sure you subscribe to the channel so you never miss stories that prove miracles can still happen. The man's name was Manuel Reyes, though for most of the past 20 years, nobody had called him by his name. On the streets of Los Angeles, people knew him simply as the old Filipino singer near the bus terminal, the one who played softly at night and always thanked everyone even if they only dropped a single coin into his cracked paper cup. Manuel was 75 years old, homeless, and invisible to most of the world. But what nobody knew was that he once had a voice that filled concert halls, a family that believed in him, and a dream that had been buried under loss, regret, and time. Manuel was born in a small coastal town in the Philippines. Music was not a luxury in his childhood, it was a way of surviving. His father was a fisherman who sang to calm the sea, and his mother hummed old love songs while cooking over a fire. By the age of 10, Manuel could already play guitar by ear, copying melodies he heard from old radios. People in the village said he had a gift, a voice that sounded older than his years, full of emotion that didn't match his young age. Even then, Manuel dreamed of America. To him, it was the land where music could change a life. In his 20s, Manuel moved to Manila to chase music seriously. He performed in small bars, weddings, and radio contests. His big break came when an American cruise ship hired him as a lounge singer. That job changed everything. It took him across oceans and eventually brought him to the United States. He settled in California, married a fellow Filipino immigrant named Lilia, and together they built a modest but happy life. Manuel sang in clubs at night, worked odd jobs during the day, and never stopped believing that one day, his voice would be heard by millions. But life had other plans. Lilia fell ill. Medical bills piled up faster than Manuel could earn. He took fewer singing gigs and more labor jobs. When Lilia passed away, Manuel lost more than his wife. He lost his anchor. Depression crept in quietly, and opportunities slipped away. The music scene changed, venues closed, and Manuel found himself older in an industry obsessed with youth. Slowly, painfully, he slipped through the cracks. One bad decision led to another. Manuel sold his instruments to pay rent. Then he lost the apartment. Pride kept him from asking for help. Before he knew it, he was sleeping in shelters, then on benches, then wherever he could find safety. Years passed like that. His voice aged, cracked, and softened, but it never disappeared. Every night, he sang not for money, but to remember who he once was. In early 2025, a volunteer at a local soup kitchen recognized Manuel's voice. She had seen auditions for America's Got Talent on TV and believed he belonged there. Manuel laughed at the idea. He was 75, homeless, and had nothing to wear but donated clothes. But the volunteer didn't give up. She helped him register, found him a borrowed guitar, and even arranged transportation to the audition. When Manuel walked onto the AGT stage, he felt smaller than ever. The lights were blinding. The judges looked distant. Simon Cowell glanced at his notes, clearly unsure. Howie smiled politely. Sophia leaned forward, curious. The audience clapped softly, uncertain. When asked about his background, Manuel spoke honestly. He said he was homeless. He said he sang on the streets. He said music was all he had left. A hush fell over the theater. Simon asked him why he was there. Manuel paused, fighting emotion. He said he wanted to prove that even when life takes everything from you, it cannot take your soul. That line alone shifted something in the room. Manuel began to sing an original song he wrote for his late wife, blended with memories of his homeland and years of loneliness. His voice was not perfect. It cracked. It trembled. But every note carried decades of pain, love, regret, and hope. The audience stopped breathing. Halfway through the song, people were already wiping tears. Judges leaned forward. Even the camera crew felt it. Then came the twist no one expected. In the final verse, Manuel changed the lyrics, singing directly to America, thanking a country that broke him but still gave him a chance to dream again. His voice rose, not with power, but with truth. The theater erupted in emotion. When the song ended, there was silence. Long, heavy silence. Then Simon Cowell stood up. Tears streamed down his face. He admitted that in all his years on the show, he had rarely felt something so raw. He said Manuel didn't just sing, he told a life story in 3 minutes. Sophia called it unforgettable. Howie said it was one of the most honest auditions ever. Heidi said Manuel reminded everyone why the show exists. Then something even more shocking happened. Simon reached across the desk and pressed the golden buzzer. Gold confetti exploded as Manuel dropped to his knees, overwhelmed. For the first time in decades, someone had chosen him. Backstage, Manuel wept uncontrollably. He said he wished his wife could have seen it. Social media exploded overnight. Clips of the audition went viral across the United States and beyond. People donated money, offered housing, and shared their own stories of loss and resilience. Manuel was no longer invisible. As the competition continued, Manuel faced doubts. Could a 75-year-old homeless man really compete against young professionals? Critics questioned his chances, but every performance proved them wrong. Each song revealed another chapter of his life. Each note connected him deeper to the audience. In the semi-finals, Manuel revealed another twist. He dedicated his performance to all immigrants who came to America chasing dreams and lost their way. The audience gave him a standing ovation before he even finished singing. Once again, Simon was visibly emotional. By the finale, Manuel didn't just represent himself. He represented hope. Though he didn't win the $1 million prize, he won something greater. A recording contract, a permanent home, a chance to mentor young artists. Most importantly, dignity. In his final words on stage, Manuel said he no longer felt homeless because the audience had given him a place to belong. He reminded everyone watching that age is not the end, failure is not final, and dreams never expire. And now we want to hear from you. From which part of the country are you watching this story? Share your city or state in the comments and let Manuel's journey remind us all that miracles can happen at any age.